Hey everyone, welcome. So today's video we're talking about, is a medical service dog right for you? But moreover, are you right for a medical service dog? And this is based around your dog has responsibilities and you have responsibilities. So let's talk quickly about your service dog. For example, they alert you for the following, whether it's PTSD, night terrors, sugar issues, seizures, heart-related issues, traumatic brain injury, night terrors, balance, vertigo, mobility issues, and so much more. So your service dog, like Foxy here, is your medical device. You and I have responsibilities as a handler, and many people are not able to handle these responsibilities, and that's one thing that must be considered before you apply for or try to get a service dog. Because the one thing you don't want to do is start with your dog and start to go that way, and then next thing you know, you can't handle the dog and you're giving the dog back. So it's so important that you understand how your responsibilities, or should I say, you understand your responsibilities and you're willing to take those things on. So when we initially went through our training with Guardian Angels and did the pairing, the first thing that we were given was this book, or what I like to call the Bible. This Bible is incredible because it gives you information about emergency contacts, what to do in the event of emergency. They have a veterinarian on staff. They have multiple vet techs that are available to you to help you along the way. They have support groups, which to me is incredible. So we have a Facebook group, for example, that we can talk about different things, whether it's a minor issue or opportunity that you have to get better as a handler, and keeping everything on track to make sure that you're okay as well as that your service dog is okay. They cover everything in here, how to be successful with your dog. They talk about training, medical, miscellaneous stuff, and all sorts of things like that. So I kind of want to go through pretty much everything that's involved in the handbook in a way, but more or less to give you an overview of what your responsibilities are, like we talked about earlier. The first thing you've got to understand is, since we said that Foxy here, for example, is a medical device, if you were wearing oxygen, you wouldn't just put down the oxygen and say, hey, I'm going to the store, so I'll use my oxygen when I get back. Or you have a some kind of heart monitor or something like that. You're going to take that with you wherever you go in case there's an issue, right? Well, the same thing with your medical service stuff. She or he goes everywhere that you do. It doesn't matter. You don't say, okay, hey hon, your significant other or whatever, watch the dog, I'm going to run to the store real quick, I'll be right back. No, your service dog goes with you everywhere you go. So that includes, you no longer are going to be skydiving, riding motorcycles, and things like that, going out to a dance club and having your dog, service dog, left at home. Those are not things that you can do because you don't leave a medical device away from you. So at this point, what I want to do is kind of go through some of the things that happen after you first get paired and how the bonding effect takes place and what your responsibilities are. In our responsibilities for feeding, first of all, we are told which foods we're allowed to feed our service dog. In our case, we use Taste of Wild is the brand that we use. For Foxy, she has one bag will first be salmon. When that bag's done, she'll go to duck, then back to salmon, then back to duck, like that. uh, they are not allowed to have table scraps whatsoever. And there's multiple reasons for that, and I'll throw one out there. Her and I go to restaurants once a week at least. And when we do, she goes immediately under the table and lays down. And no one normally notices she's there except if they see us walk in and that type of thing, because she is so quiet and not paying attention to anything else around her but me. If you were to drop table scraps on the floor, something falls off, or maybe something's left there they didn't clean up properly, you do not want your service dog eating that food, starting to beg, or anything like that. So that's just one of the reasons why you don't give them table scraps. You also have the fact that it is not healthy for them. Honestly, our food is not that healthy, so you don't want them eating our food. Treats also fall under the feeding. First of all, treats should are only given by the handler, period. And that may be during training or something that they're supposed to get. We have a list of treats that we're allowed to give our dogs. They even give us a recipe for liver snacks and stuff like that. But treats are only given by you. Now, feeding is a little different. When it comes to feeding, as you can see from the video to the side or above, I'm not sure where it is yet, but it will be there. We feed the dog by hand. Now, some people may sit in a chair and hold the bowl while their service dog feeds. In my case, I like to lay down on the floor and feed Foxy. And she lays down to eat. And she has a habit of always licking my hand, at least usually once, while she's being fed. And I believe that she's saying thank you, but she always does that for me. After she's done, in my case, she does another command which is called brace, and she helps me get up. And what she does is she'll get into position next to me. Her paws will be a normal shoulder width, and then all I have to do is push on her back to help me get back up without hurting my knees and back. But I just thought I'd throw that in because it is in the video, and that's what's happening. It's called the brace position. That is one of the really good ways of bonding that starts once you get your dog back into your home and you're alone and working together. Bonding is so important, and you are going to run into opportunities, minor issues. Things are going to happen because you're just getting to know each other. So you have to be patient and remember, even though they are a medical device and they're a service dog, they are not robots. They have a personality. They are dogs as well. So that's another reason why training is so important. Now, we have a mandatory training every day with our service dog that we go through certain areas. For example, which I'll do a video this morning, so it should be popped up above us, is we do typical things of the down position, the up position, pause. That's when their feet get up on a stool, maybe the couch, or there's like a stool over there that she uses when she goes out. When we go out the other door, we have an area where she vests, and she does pause there and that type of thing. The typical down position, the weight, don't go anywhere, that type of thing. But the training's got to be done every day. And the only person who trains your dog, the only person who feeds your dog, I throw that back in, is the handler, yourself. That's your responsibility. That's another area that bonding comes. Training builds bonding. Feeding builds bonding. All those things build that bond between you and your service dog. And playtime. You've got to give your service dog a little bit of playtime. But the only person who should be doing the playtime, again, is yourself. For example, we have an exercise type playtime that she absolutely loves, which we have these 3 rubber balls. And what I do is I will throw one up towards the door. It's actually in one of the shorts and the videos. You can go through the videos we have and you can see the playtime video. I'll throw one, she grabs it, she runs back, and then as she's running back, I throw the next one, she turns around, runs back up, gets that one, while the other one's rolling towards me, and I always have this rotation going, and she loves it, and it's also fantastic exercise for her as well, and that's the playtime. But it's myself that does that. And you have to remember, they're not a family pet. So you don't have your kids, your grandchildren, your significant other taking your dog out to use the bathroom. That is your responsibility. And that also builds a bond. And within that, when you take your service dog out, you're going to try to have one area that they go all the time, that they're used to. It's always a good idea. It's easy to clean up for anyone who has not had dogs before. If you have dogs, you understand that totally. The next thing I want to talk about is veterinary care. As we were going through our pairing and our training, one of the things we were required to do is to have all the information on the veterinary hospital or the veterinarian that we have that's going to be taking care of your service dog in this case, in our case. And in your case, you would give your veterinarian. What I do is, after any time that Foxy goes in to see the vet, whether it's just for shots, whether it's just for a checkup, or if she has an issue, after I'm done, they will send me a PDF of everything that was covered, weight, temperature, everything that's happening with her. And then I send that down to the veterinary clinic down at Williston, Florida, at Guardian Angels, so that they can see the status of her. Because they do monitor how well she's doing. Is she gaining weight? Is she losing weight? Is she staying within those guidelines that she's supposed to be a happy, healthy medical service dog? So that is another thing that's important. And as well, I maintain insurance on her. Guardian Angels was able to get you an incredible rate on health insurance for your dog, and that covers, there is some minor co-pays, but for the most part, everything's covered, especially if it's a major issue. You know that you have your service dog covered from a medical standpoint. That's your responsibility. Keeping up on the required medications that they're supposed to have monthly. To keep away from ticks and Lyme disease and all the other things. You must maintain that. If you don't, your service dog's going to be taken away from you. At least from our standpoint. You are responsible for maintaining your service dog and making sure they're happy and healthy. So what I'm trying to say is there are a lot, and there's more responsibilities that come along as time when you're out in public, making sure that your dog is doing what they're supposed to do and what they're trained to do, staying beside you, not paying attention to the others around them. You are allowed the laws. We talk about the laws in one of the other videos where I talk about the difference between a medical service dog, a therapy dog, and an emotional support animal. And within that, there are certain things that under ADA that you're allowed to do. For example, Foxy can go anywhere I go. She's been in the hospital with me. She goes to my hospital appointments with me. She goes to restaurants with me. The only thing she doesn't do is go into an operating room. Now, she has been in pre-op and waited for me to go in, and I come out in post-op, and she's been right there in some cases, depending on the hospital and their procedures. But 90% of the time, they're right there when you come out, you're waking up, and the first thing I saw was her. She's been into the x-ray room with me and gone behind the control panel with the actual technician while they gave me my scans, just because it wouldn't be safe for her to be close to me while these scans are going on. But those are the types of things that happen. So I hope that this video, I was able to give you some good information, some good insight into what your responsibilities are. And Foxy and I, although Foxy's kind of napping, it's very early in the morning right now, and after this I'm going to change and we're going to go for our walk and do our typical exercise. But if you would please, as a favor, please subscribe to our channel and like the video if you liked it, dislike the video if you didn't like it, and please comment below. Tell me, what would you like to know more about? What questions do you have? That's what I'm trying to to get out to everyone, is to understand the importance of the service dogs. And with that, I'll say thanks again for watching. We appreciate it, and take care.